Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review Petite Maman. And this is a new film from Celine Sciamma, who previously did the amazing Portrait of a Lady on Fire, which I absolutely love that film. I have it on Criterion somewhere down there or up there. And this film focuses on young Nelly, who's just lost her grandmother, is helping her parents clean out this house and explores the house and the surroundings and becomes close friends with young Marion, who is a kid in the neighborhood next door. And these two young girls are played by Josephine and Gabrielle Sanz, so they're twins. It's interesting, they look quite a bit alike, so that makes a whole lot of sense. And from the opening moments of this film, it uses very, very sparse music. There's not a ton of music. There's not a ton of big emotional hooks in terms of music. Jean-Baptiste de la Bière, who does this composing for this film, his music is used very sparingly. And from the opening moments, you see Nelly walking through this nursing home, going in and saying hello to all these older people, and then coming into this last room and seeing her mother cleaning up her grandmother's room. And that sets the stage. You don't even have to say anything and you get the idea of what's going on here. And I think that's one of the biggest things that Sciamma is able to do, is use incredible visual storytelling to be able to hit on particular things that we don't have to spell out for the audience. At the core of this film, you have the dealing of grief, the processing of grief, and through friendship, and seeing Nelly and Marion develop this friendship between these two Sanz girls acting in this film, it's endearing, it's charming, and it's emotional. And it brings a bedrock of emotion and connection for the audience into this film, as we're there to process this grief, this loss with Nelly as she develops this friendship. And there's a lot of very cute and endearing moments, like them running off with a raft to some swelling music at that point, and going out into the river and this lake and like rowing out to this strange temple-looking thing. And you have those little moments where they're connecting with each other. You do have a very innocent and endearing perspective on loss and how to process it. And in tandem with how, like, the parents who might have their kids seeing something like this. I don't know if you really take your kids to watch something like this, but it is about kids dealing with some heavier issues and, you know, how everybody has their own approaches. But this seems to be a very tender and sweet way of presenting two young girls connecting with each other in a time of grief and loss, and being able to build emotional connections again, and being able to anchor yourself without being swarmed and just consumed by this grief. And in the end, I feel like this film is definitely not on the same level for me as Portrait of a Lady on Fire, which I absolutely loved. But this is a tender and beautifully crafted, wonderfully told little story about two little girls with grief and loss and friendship. And I think this is a hard film to not feel charmed by, and it's just an hour and 13 minutes. It is brief, it is zippy, in terms of runtime, it does take its time as a film with its pacing, but it allows you to really get engrossed and consumed and surrounded by this tender and sweet story that is definitely worth your time. But those are my thoughts on Petite Maman. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.